I just want to also take this moment to reflect on the input that came from the citizens. And, you know, we sit here on our stools and seats, and we sit here as analysts and people who think or who
They're actually high
know.
stools.
They're high stools, high stools.
You can use that, yes, yes.
On our high stools. And listening to Wakenya just reminded me sometimes how out of touch when it comes to reality many of us might find ourselves, especially the political elite, those who are included and excluded from the BBI process. Kenyans are right. This is not their priority. And it comes back to some of the issues that were being debated in the superior courts and that the Supreme Court will now reflect on, the issue of public participation. You remember with lightning speed how quickly the county assemblies passed the bill and it moved to the National Assembly. Had there been meaningful public participation, some of these issues would have arisen. So it is not so much that the populace is ignorant, they're unaware. They're simply saying, had anyone bothered to ask us, would have said, this is not our priority right now. Even if there are some esoteric benefits to them that will trickle down over time, things like allocation to counties, you don't need a referendum to increase allocation to counties. So I think that it is important for us to continue to listen to what Wakenya on the ground are saying. And you know, I was asking Ishmael earlier, who are these elites? Because as far as I'm concerned, BBI is run by a bunch of elites who are deciding how they are going to share power amongst themselves forever. Kumbe, we are also referring to the elites that were left out of the handshake. So if you now look at the two camps that you're saying we are 50% succeeded in creating unity, I also think that at the end of the day, we forget as Kenyans that there is a transient nature of political interest. Even those who started off supporting the handshake, are they still supporting the handshake today? The political formations that were there 2 weeks ago, are they the same today? Will they be the same by the 9th of August or after nominations this month of April? So we, as Kenyans, the people on the ground are saying, actually, these elite arrangements, whether you brought everybody to the table or excluded some, do not concern us, because ultimately the benefits in terms of how we live our lives, how we pay for electricity, school fees, food, exact same things that Wakenya today were just telling us in the studio, those things are not being addressed. When you talk about the BBI task force report, which talked about building bridges to a better Kenya, shared prosperity, all those lovely, touchy-feely, nice kumbaya things, they were very nice there. You come to the amendment bill, it became sinister. And Kenyans began to feel detached and removed from this amendment bill and said, you see, this was an elite capture and an attempt to subvert the Constitution from the very word go. Now, think of the 80 petitioners who went to court. Consolidation of various petitions. We form part of the populace. We are Wananchi, we are Wanjiku. We are asking questions, whether it's about basic structure or public participation or the prosecutability of the head of state, and so on and so forth. 70 constituencies. We went to court to seek this advice as citizens. The 80 petitioners, of whom I am one, are not surrogates of political elites who said, you go and chochea there, chochea there. We are asking questions as Kenyans on the ground who feel that we were completely left out from the process, and this process does not speak to us and was an elite capture. Now, as Linda Katiba, which is different than the 80 petitioners, our work will never stop. And I want to tell Kenyans that Kenyans must be filled with hope in terms of optimism around what the Supreme Court will rule on today, because it is the law that ultimately prevails. As Linda Katiba, our work never stops. It is in perpetuity. Even if BBI were to be passed, there are many ways in which we need to continue to scrutinize. For example, how IEBC will frame the referendum questions. We can also seek additional recourse. For example, if we do not lose, we do not win, or we are prevailed upon by the Supreme Court, we can go to the East African Court of Justice. There's the African Court of Justice. It is not a full stop, a definitive full stop today. It is to say we have heard the Supreme Court pronounce itself, and if we are active citizens, if we're interested in protecting the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, we have many things we can continue to do. And if there will be a BBI process, it will not happen anyway before August, because there are many things. Even the supplementary budget did not involve the referendum. It's onerous processes to get going with a referendum. Public participation, meaningful public participation will have to take place. So there are so many things that would, in any case, have to take place, never mind the 70 constituencies, that we can forget about it. Whether it passes or not, this will not happen before August. And after August, let's see who wins. Let's see what their appetite for constitutional amendment will be. And this is why I said when we look at the judgment, we should be looking at it in posterity, not just to suit the political whims of the day and the battles and the enemies and the friends and so on and so forth.
Right, so looking at live pictures there on your screen.